Get the champion colors donned on there for
There we
you.
go. There we go.
Some purple. What do you think? You think dark? I think that's a good shade of purple right there.
I like that. I like that dark, deep purple. That's what we're going with.
All right. Well, Coach says good. We're good.
We're good. We're good. Coach, we were talking about it, Anthony and I, were the last season, and just how things really shaped up for Champion. And it's exciting going into it because it's your second year at the helm. You've always kind of said tough people win. How do you feel this that's going to be exemplified on the field with Champion this year?
Well, I think that's our mentality, and that's kind of how we do everything. We say tough people win every day. So it's a part of our culture. It's a part of our identity, and it's who we are. We believe that the game of football honors toughness. So it would be silly not to try to instill the sense and the idea of being tough just as a program. And for us, that means mentally tough, being able to go through the grind and being able to do everything that's required to be successful. But also being tough on the field and playing tough and weathering the storm, so to speak, taking on the adversity and being tough enough as a team to stay together when that happens and finish off football games. Last year was different, on a lot of fronts. Still had a little bit of the COVID thing going on, and new coaching staff, and we added a bunch of new players. So it really took us a couple of weeks going into the season to really find our identity and what we were. I think week 3 against Southeast, we lined up in the single wing, like we were going to run the single wing, and then we shifted to 5 wide empty, and that kind of became our identity. So I'm not afraid to throw the ball. I think it's fun. The kids love it. The community loves it. I think this year we need to have a focus on being a little bit more balanced and being able to run the football more effectively and more efficiently. So that's what we're practicing right now. That's what we're working on. But that's, the tough people win. That's the kind of program the kids want to build. That's the kind of mentality we want to have. And it's a part of our culture. We say be elite, and tough people win becomes part of be elite. And I kind of stole some of this from PJ Fleck at Minnesota, but we tell our kids we want to have a Necton mentality with a Prefontaine pace, with a Farmers Alliance. We want to be a Necton, a Sharks and Necton, never be satisfied, always hungry, never full, never satisfied. Everything we do, we want to play fast. We want to play the game fast on Friday. We want to practice fast. We want to do everything with tempo and energy. And then we want to have a Farmers Alliance. We want to love each other. We want to form a true brotherhood, be a true family in that locker room, so all those things kind of tie together, and it's awesome to see the kids buy into it in year 2.
Coach, let's talk about Joey Fell too as a returner this year. 1,500 passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns in both categories. He's dynamite too. How excited are you to return him, and how excited for you to be a second-year coach to have him as a second-year starter now?
Well, I think I'm fortunate to have a kid like Joey on the team and be the signal caller. He's just phenomenal. He's a great leader. Heck, when we're running off the field at the end of practice, he's the first one leading the team up there. He's running to the locker room after practice. That's just the kind of kid he is. He's not a real verbal leader, but he leads by example. So when you have a guy like that out there on a Friday night, he kind of just puts the team on his shoulders a little bit and says, follow my lead. And that's great to see. And all of his teammates love him. He's just a great kid. We kind of found, I think, what he's comfortable doing last year towards the end of the year, and kind of found some ways to give him some success. But the thing about Joe is he's just a phenomenal football player. He's lightning in a bottle. If something's not working, Joey can make something happen. So he's fun to watch on Friday, and I think I said it in one of my other interviews, we don't really have to micromanage him, on a Friday night. Joey, this year, we're giving him, the tools to be able to make the right decision on any given play when he's leading our offense. So, we're going to put our trust in Joe and know that he's going to, deliver the ball where it needs to be to make plays. But he's also, really taken the next step, that we've anticipated in reading defenses, And those natural progressions. He's done the work in the off season to be able to play a 10-week schedule. So we anticipate to see him take the next step moving into the season. We anticipate him to be able to get the ball out a little earlier, get it to the places we want to get it to. But he's also really great at understanding the system and knowing that sometimes he's got to, delegate the responsibility to his teammates and let them kind of carry some of the load as well. So we're expecting big things out of Joe. But I know he's just going to go out there and have fun and just be himself. And that's all we're asking him to do is just go out there, play and lead the team and just be the fun, loving teammate that he is, So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Coach, when you look at the rest of this roster, who are some other players that you're going to lean on, not just to lead statistically, but lead vocally and lead emotionally in this season?
I think up front, it starts with Ethan Ray. He's our center. He really came into his own in the off season. He's really been a great leader for us in the off season, holding people accountable, teammates accountable. I mean, even holding coaches accountable, making sure that we're on top of our game and doing what we need to do to make sure we're putting them in the position to be successful. And then you got Joey Castellanos and Lucas Henderlight up front, and then Logan Easterday up there with that group, those front five guys. So those guys are tremendous leaders. They do everything right. They're great in school academically. They show up to every single workout. They really bust their butts and work hard when they're on the field. And they make sure that we're living by our mantra of tough people win, and we're playing with energy and enthusiasm, and we're being excited about being able to play the game. So those guys up front for sure. Then out on the edge, you've got guys like Brett Channel and Nick Vesey. Those guys last year just to see the way that they grew and progressed to become really great football players. We're excited about those guys out on the edge. We think that they have some talent. They're explosive. They're playmakers. So those guys are kind of lead by example guys too. They show up to practice. They're the first ones down there getting extra footballs caught, stuff like that. In the backfield, that's probably our biggest question mark. We graduated Keegan McDermott. We have his brother, Connor McDermott. He's going to be a junior. He's going to get a lot of reps back there in the backfield. Sophomore, like Mike Sanders, he's going to play in the backfield for us. He's a great leader. He's very, he's a perfectionist. We tell him we don't want perfection. We want improvement. But he wants to be perfect every single down, and he wants his teammates to do that too. So he really pushes those guys back there. Andrew Skeeby's another one that really does a great job. Making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. He's going to play in the backfield. So those are just a few of the key guys that we have. We have great kids all over the field. We really have great kids at Champion, and they are hungry to be successful and hungry to do what it takes to get there. So, we're real excited about that group of guys. And it's important to note real quick that, within our program, we have a leadership council, and on that leadership council are freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So, we'll let them vote on captains, but the leadership council is selected by us as a coaching staff. And these guys get to make key decisions on a weekly basis for their football program. So what we're seeing is these guys are taking ownership of this program. It's their program. Right. It's our job to make sure we get them in positions to be successful. We get them conditioned to be able to play 48 minutes of high school football. But these guys are taking control of the program. It's their program, and they're doing a great job with it. So can't be prouder of those guys.
I want to follow up on that, because when you talk about the leadership council that you guys get to pick as a coaching staff, what characteristics do you look for in making that decision, and what kind of things stand out when you decide who's going to be on your leadership council for a program?
Sure. That's a great question. I think for me, when I graduated high school, I was I wanted to play college football. And I went to Allegheny College. And the reason I went to Allegheny College, I walked into Coach Matlack's office, and on the whiteboard in his office there, he had four things listed. And it said, priorities of Allegheny football. And I think it was listed faith, family, academics, and then football was fourth. So the first thing we look at is that type of mentality. Right? Are these guys doing what they're supposed to be doing at home? Are they taking care of their schoolwork and being great students, and attacking coursework and schoolwork with the same energy and enthusiasm that they attack football work? And then are they doing the right things in the program? Are they leading by example? Are they coming to every practice? You know, are they vocal to their teammates and holding those kids accountable? So those are some of the things that we look for, you know, with those guys. You know, I really believe that, you know, as coaches, our job is to produce great people first, good football players second. You know, so we want to put the very best of the best in our program in terms of just their progression as growing into fantastic young men. So that's what we're looking at. And that program has really done a lot of great things for us, you know, in the last 6 to 8 months. So it's a pretty cool program. I didn't come up with it. I stole it. You know, like every good coach, you steal an idea and you use it and it works. So, you know, we're going to continue to do that into this season.
Feel like we've been on a theme of teams playing Eagles opening day, but these Eagles that you're going to be playing hail from Warren JFK, and these that's going to be a tough task week one, Coach. What are you saying to the guys getting them up for the task, and what are we expecting from week one with Warren JFK coming to champion?
Yeah, you know, I truly believe that if you want to build a successful football program, you have to play the best. And John F. Kennedy is one of the best programs in the area. I mean, we all know that. You know, so our guys are excited to go out there and compete, but right now we're just focused on getting, you know, 1% better every day. That's kind of the thing we've been saying the last few days we've been together. You know, let's get 1% better today. So we're focusing on making sure that we're doing the right things to take care of us first. You know, and we know that the team that's coming to town August 19th is going to be ready to play. They're going to be well coached. They're extremely well coached. They're going to have fire in their bellies. They're going to be ready to rock and roll. They're going to be ready to play. You know, I think our guys are going to be up for the challenge. You know, last year that game kind of got out of hand, kind of got away from us a little bit. You know, in week one, you're still figuring out a lot of things about, you know, how to coach the team, and they're figuring out how to play within the things that you're teaching. So, like I said earlier, we anticipate, you know, a much bigger progression, natural progression in the system and everything. But we know that we have our hands full. Kennedy's good.
You know, all the coaches talk about how their players have to buy into what they're selling and buy into the program. But what gets under the radar is how much the families have to buy in and how much these parents have to buy into what you're trying to teach their kids. Always great families at Champion. We know that no matter what sport we're covering. Talk about from your perspective in the football program, how good these families have been and how much you've appreciated them trusting you to coach their kids.
Yeah, I mean, it means so much for me, you know. I mean, 15 or so years ago, whatever it was, you know, now, you know, my mom and dad were raising me in the community and we're supporting the football program. You know, so, you know, just for me, I'm so just proud to be at Champion and to be the coach there, you know, just to rekindle some of those relationships with people I may have played with. You know, right now I'm coaching some of the kids of guys I played with. So that's a really unique dynamic, and it's something that really means a lot to me. But the community's been great, man. When I got the job last year, man, I had so many people reach out and just want to contribute and just help us. You know, everybody's really, really on board with wanting to build up the program and really create something special here in the community. Just to see the way that, you know, parents come out and support our booster club. They come out and they help us with fundraisers. You know, they come down and ask, hey, you know, what do you need? I mean, we made it through the whole off season. And I mean, I think we never had a week where we didn't have enough peanut butter and jelly and bread and water and stuff in the locker room for these guys to eat before and after workouts. So, you know, the support's just been tremendous. Support from administration and community. It's really, I mean, we're all one team. You know, we're all working together. And for me, I'm super excited about that because, I mean, I say it, you know, for me, it really feels like the first time in 2 decades that we're clicking on all cylinders. We're all together, and we're really focused on doing what's best for our athletes. And that's giving them the best opportunities and giving them the best 4-year experience that they can, you know. And we have a lot of multi-sport athletes, so all the coaches are working together. We're sharing athletes. We're figuring out how to be able to do the basketball and the baseball and football and everything together. So it's just been great, man. Being able to be a part of this community again and coach these kids is really something that I love it. I'm just so proud to be able to have these kids call me coach.
Now that you have the coaching experience, you do. What's the best advice that Coach Conrad would give Thomas Conrad, the player?
Go to more workouts. For me, like I didn't really buy into it until I was a senior, and it was too late. I became a weight room guy my freshman and sophomore year of college. So I really preach to these guys how important conditioning your body for a football season is. And I didn't really, I didn't really fall in love with the game of football until I'd hit the college ranks, and played my 4 years there. And then, after your playing career's over, there's so much of that player in you still, that routine and wanting to be part of a team, working towards a common goal. So when I got the chance to come back as a volunteer assistant in 2010 at Champion, I really fell in love with coaching the game. So I think the advice would be, live each day, practice each day like it's your last, because it will be one day, and you don't want to look back and say that you didn't try or attempt something simply because you were scared to do it or you didn't think you could.
Coach, we know the head coaches get all the interviews, they get all the limelight, but they have a great staff behind them all the time. I want to give you a chance to talk about your coaching staff and your assistants and the people that help you make this Champion football program what it is.
Yeah, awesome. My coaching staff, my varsity coaching staff, consists of LD Hartman, who, was a fantastic player during his career. He's coached all over the state. He's coached at the college ranks. He's got probably close to 40 years of coaching experience. So to be able to have somebody like him, with me being a younger coach, to lean on and ask questions to, and LD's not shy about telling me when I screw something up, but I love that about him because I need that. I don't want to be surrounded with people that just want to say yes to everything. I want to know both sides of the story. So LD ran our off-season weight program, and he did a fantastic job. These guys are this is the most conditioned football team that I've ever been a part of in any capacity. They're strong. We really improved our numbers in the weight room. We got guys squatting 550, 600 pounds in the weight room. I mean, that's phenomenal. That goes so far to be able to propel our football team forward. So he's my D coordinator, and he does the off-season weights. Then I have my quarterbacks coach is Jim Naylor. He's been a member of the Champion community, and it's kind of cool. I coached his son when his son was playing at Champion, and he does a great job with Joey, holding Joey accountable and getting him coached up. So he's our quarterbacks coach and our DBs coach. And he gets the field prepared and gets everything set up for practice. So I'm really lucky to have him. Frank Mcmurder is my offensive line coach. I think I played against Frank when he was at Newton Falls and I was at Champion. We got to get to know each other a little bit when we were on Coach McGlynn's staff at Champion. He's the kids love him. He's a phenomenal fundamental instructor, so we know that we're teaching the fundamentals of line play on both sides of the ball. And he's super organized. I'm trying to be a little bit more like Coach Frank with being organized paperwork wise and everything. So he helps me with all of that. And then, I had the opportunity to bring Ken Parise on my staff, who, he was the head coach at Pymatuning Valley for, almost 20 years. And he has just so much knowledge, in terms of the best way to practice, drills for everything, so LD Hartman, Jim Naylor, Frank Mcmurder, and Ken Parise, those are the paid varsity guys. And then I've got Caleb Davis, who's an alumni. He's first year coach, but he's doing a phenomenal job. The kids love him, and he's a sponge. He's just soaking up so much stuff in terms of scheme and practices and X's and O's and everything. So we're lucky to have Caleb on board. I got Mike Thompson, who is the Army recruiter, I believe, for Trumbull County. So having him on the staff, it just goes a huge way in terms of being able to preach leadership and teamwork. He's been in the Army for 30 plus years, so he can speak to our guys a lot about the leadership and what it means to be a family and take care of your brother out there on the field of battle. So that's a unique dynamic, and we're super lucky to have him. Most importantly, Mike Wilson, he volunteers for me. He ran our Pee Wee program for a few years, and he's in charge of the Scope Center in Warren. I don't know how he does it, man. He does everything. I'd be lost without Mike Wilson. He truly keeps me on task, make sure everything gets done. And he just really does a great job of just, he just wants what's best for this program and our kids. And he's just a phenomenal asset. So we're lucky to have Mike. And Mike and Ken Parise coach together, so we have that dynamic. And being able to have Ken and Mike work together again, and just everything that Kenny brings to the table, I just can't speak to it enough. I have 2 volunteers, Jim Smith, who, I remember he may have even coached my baseball team when I was playing Little League baseball. And he's just a diehard purple and gold fan. And, he's phenomenal with kids, and kids love him. So being able to have him on the staff is just huge. And then, I have Justin Alberini, who's coaching in our Pee Wee program, but he's kind of like a liaison for the varsity program because, for the first time in a long time, our Champion Little Flashes program is a part of our overall program. We want those kids to be involved in everything we do. So, I really think I have a great staff. They have to put up with me. So, they must be tough.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We'll put up with you anytime you want to come on the show. You've been a great interview. We look forward to covering you all season. We wish you the best of luck, and we know as the days go on, we'll have you on again real soon to talk more Champion football. Thank you again for your time.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys, and go Flashes.